On August 4th, 1892, one of the greatest crimes in North American history occur in this house on 92 2nd Street in Fall River, Massachusetts. The murder of Andrew and Abigail Borden would become a national sensation, and word of it would be spread in newspapers around the country. Over 100 years later, no one has ever been convicted of the crime. This program looks at the history of this case. Experts will debate the possible motives and suspects. Could it have been their spinster daughter, Elizabeth?
That day is fascinating. There was no great heat wave, but inside the house the temperatures have been running pretty high. And there have been a lot of difficulty within the family. In those days, what happened in the house rarely went out the front door. But there was a lot of tension. She did not get along with her stepmother very well at all. And she told people this. She told her dressmaker, various friends. Vinegar Morris was very much aware that things were charged. He went out that day to visit his sister and to visit a few friends, and made a mental note of where he was every second he was outside of the house, and riding back in the trolley, memorized the badge number of the trolley driver. I don't know who's done that lately, unless they want to really set up a powerful alibi of where they were. The food in the house was rather bothersome. They'd been eating mutton soup or mutton stew for several days. And refrigeration was not very good. They had ice boxes, but they didn't have refrigerators. And I've sometimes jokingly said what drove her to it might just have been the thought of lunch. But they ate leftover mutton stew and cookies for breakfast. Lizzie did not join them. Lizzie made a point of not being around Abby as much as she could be. She avoided her. She had the quality, I guess, in Lizzie's eyes of the evil stepmother, and they didn't get along that well. That morning, and Andrew went down to the bank. This is a guy that worked his way up from undertaker to bank president. Around 9:45 in the morning, Abby was murdered, but Lizzie was in her room. When the murder took place in the Morris guest room, we can call it that, she was in her bedroom. And she came from her bedroom into the guest room where Abby was. Abby saw her, and so didn't her father when the axe blows were delivered. Abby turned and looked at her, and the first blow clipped off a part of her forehead here. That was found under the radiator. It was a powerful blow, but not enough to knock her out or kill her. And the pictures we see of Abby, she's lying on the floor next to the bed and the dresser. My thinking, and the thinking of a lot of people who really examined this thing closely, is that she dove down there trying to get out under the bed so she wouldn't be slaughtered. And she was about 5'4", about 200 pounds, and she couldn't make it under the bed. And Lizzie basically straddled her and took the hatchet and put 19 axe blows into her. Between 19 and 20, one or two might have gone into the same places. They were all in the back of the head and the back of the neck. And that certainly killed her. And there was a lot of blood spilled there. Then Lizzie returned to her bedroom, or was at the top of the stairs, and was upstairs, had not come down. Now remember, she's there during the killing. If she didn't do it, she certainly knew who did. And there's little doubt in my mind, Lizzie did have, well, she had motive and she had access, and those are two important factors. Around 12, we aren't too sure of the times. The times have been determined by forensic studies at Harvard of the condition of digestion in the stomachs of both Abby and Andrew. The best forensic work that could be done was done on those two bodies. And the difference in the time of death is indicated by that. Anyway, Bridget, the maid, lets Andrew in. He had come home early, had gone to the back door of the house and couldn't get in. He had a key, but it was locked from the inside. This was a day and age when people were a little different, especially this family, and they locked doors inside the house. These people wanted their privacy and they wanted to stay away from each other too, I think. Anyway, Andrew can't get into the back, comes around to the front, puts his key in and can't get in because it's locked from the inside. Now, whether Bridget heard this or what, I don't know, but Bridget went to let him in, had trouble opening the lock, and made a remark, you know, a little out of frustration, and noticed that after she made her remark, there was somebody giggling or laughing at the top of the stairs, and it was Lizzie. At this point, Abby has been dead for about an hour and a half, maybe, and she's lying between the bed and the dresser. Where Lizzie is standing on the top of the stairs, it would have been very easy for her to look into the guest room and see her stepmother's body. Lizzie didn't have any blood on her, although in those days she could have cleaned herself. There was all kinds of facilities. She stayed at the top of the stairs, and Andrew was allowed in. Andrew comes in, and he puts his key on the mantle of the fireplace, plus this silly old broken lock he found. And Lizzie came down the stairs. Lizzie is in an interesting psychological condition. She's on a roll. He was sitting up straight, and he looked her straight in the face, and the first blow came right down across this eye. And when the first blow struck him, he was dead. He fell over to his side, and you can see nobody rests in that position. His legs were down straight, and he was leaning over. And she came around the edge and then delivered what amounted to finally 11 blows to the head. The next 10 weren't really necessary, but they were delivered in a fit of rage and anger. Used to be referred to in the 19th century as the bloodlust.
I don't understand how someone could do that to another person, could actually take a hatchet and kill somebody like that, and that's a crime of passion when you're doing that many. That's great hatred. I mean, I could see if someone was trying to kill me or a child, or if I was defending myself, that's different. But to do something like that, that is so amazingly bizarre.
I've learned of late that it's the only crime committed by someone with a hatchet or an axe that had an hour and a half in between the two killings. That it's such a crime of passion to use that kind of instrument that usually the person who uses it kills everybody they're going to kill all at once.